It is the biggest mistake I've made, without a shadow of a doubt. They do not exist.
Is there any mad women? Well, silly question.
If you're closer to the vehicle in front, you're not going any faster.
Ridiculous.
Hello, I'm nearly at the end of my journey across Europe. My 90 days are just about up. I've got to be in Calais in a couple of days' time to catch the ferry back. The reason why I'm talking to you now is to tell you I'm sorry. I've kept going on. I'm doing the editing and I hear myself time and time. You won't believe how many times I've edited it out where I'm complaining about how hot it is. And if I were you, I'd be shouting at the TV, phone, whatever you're watching on, saying, but that's why you went there. It is the biggest mistake I've made, without a shadow of a doubt. Friends said to me when I was building the van, what about air conditioning? And my reply has been, I don't want to be in the van, I want to be out of the van. And at night time, it should be nice and cool because I've got the big vent at that side and at this side pulling air through. The coolest place in the van is in my bedroom, which is high up, so it's quite surprising really, but because I guess it's that cocoon space there and the air's been sucked through, then yeah, it really works well. So that's the only time during this horrendous heat that I've been trying to deal with that I've consistently been able to keep cool. The problem is down in the lounge, and although my thought process being I don't want to be in the van all the time, I want to be out having adventures and stuff, what I didn't take into account is when you're having adventures you need to be able to take a break, you need to be able to have an old man afternoon nap sometimes, you know, and just recharge. And what you'd normally do is you'd go somewhere cool to do that. I just can't get away from the heat. I had the aircon, the actual van's aircon, regassed before I set off on the trip, and it lasted until I got on the ferry from England. It's booked in 2 weeks time to go get that sorted out. So at least when I'm driving then, I've got that sorted and keeping the van nice and cool. And then I've got something I'm picking up, which I'll show you when I'm back in England. If somebody's watching this who's building a camper van or thinking of building a camper van and you think you don't need aircon when you're going to go somewhere hot, trust me, you don't want to be out all day long. If you look at what people do when they book package holidays, is they go out, they'll go around the pool and all that, and then they go back for a kip in the afternoon with the aircon on, and then come out in the evening for their evening meal. And when it's been like 38 degrees here, it's been over 40 degrees inside the van. It's super well insulated, but there's a lot of glass on there, and even when I put my insulation on the inside at those sort of temperatures, the van itself, if you touch it on the outside and the glass, it's just red hot. You know what it's like in your own country when it's hot. So no amount of insulation can effectively keep that back for a period of time. I actually think, don't it, what will I be like in when it's really cold? Well, the thing is, when it's really cold, I've got three forms of heat. I've got three forms of heating and no air conditioning at all. Opening your windows when you're driving as well. It's hot air that's blowing through. Anyway, I'm making some chips in the air fryer, so I'm going to go do that, and I'll show you when I get back to England what my solution is. Homemade mayo, homemade air fryer chips, cooked for free.
So you could be mistaken for thinking I'm back in the UK, apart from the signs on the side, and the fact I'm on the wrong side of the road. I'm in the very, very north of France, just going across the top of the coast there, heading towards Dunkirk today, and the countryside is very much like England. Even the road surface has started to get a little bit shitty. It's kind of like it's easing me into getting back to Britain. But everything is pretty much still impeccable like it has been right the way through France. It's so pristine.
Big yellow, we're chasing the sun through the winding roads. The journey's begun. With every mile, my heart beats free on the open road. It's just you and me. Big yellow.
Ridiculous.
So I can't say I noticed when I crossed the border, but welcome to Belgium. There's a lot of tobacco sales going on all of a sudden, quite often with the UK flags. I've not updated my map for Belgium, so I've not got the map that tells me where I can go in this. So I'm a bit concerned, as I might be going into a green zone or something like that where I'm going to get fined. But I've done it now.
Well, my friends, that's Dunkirk. It's not all of Dunkirk, it's a bit of Dunkirk. hard to imagine, isn't it? The fear that people had stood on this beach hoping for rescue. Unbelievable. Seen that quite a bit on Tinterclacker, recommending it for moors.
The buildings along the seafront were much the same in 1940 as they are today, although obviously many had to be rebuilt after the bombings.
I'm not going to say it's hot. So I always like to take a walk, a street or two behind the tourist street and get a feel for the rail place. You know, this is how you can see how the local lives, what the actual place really is like, rather than the glitter that they put on for us. You can hear the birds. I don't know if you know this, I didn't know this until recently, there's no such thing as a seagull. No, they do not exist.
So that were interesting. I don't know how I feel about these war memorial places. I certainly won't go hunt them down. I get that it's respecting and remembering those that died for the freedom of others. Ideally, we have these memorials to remind us why we shouldn't go to war, but at the end of the day, people go to war not because they choose to, it's because somebody else chooses to, usually a fanatic, a madman or woman. Is there any mad women? Well, silly question. In an ideal world, the people at large would say, nah mate, if you want to go to war, do it yourself. It's not going to happen though, is it? I don't know what to say. I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news because there's so much of it I don't trust. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or out like that. It's just, I don't think that there's anything I can do to influence it. A good example is like recycling. You know, the government tells us that the onus is on us. It's me, it's you. We've got to put that bit of plastic in the bin. And we all go, okay then. And we've got separate bins, separate bin days, and, you know, we diligently do this. But at the end of the day, the plastic has already been made, that the problem has already happened. You look at how much stuff the government still allows to be on our shelves that isn't recyclable. When you get home and you do you unpacking your shopping and you look, and you've got so much that is recycled, so much that isn't still. There'll be something on another product that's exactly the same, like the film that you're looking through the window in, that's you know, that's essential. One product will be recyclable and another one won't be, but the government still allows that because the onus is on you and me. Someone's profited from it ain't you and me. The government's profiting from it when it's imported into this country, when it's manufactured, all the bits that are coming together, they profit it from when it's sold to us, and then they say it's your responsibility to fix this. That's the biggest load of bullshit in the world, isn't it? Think about that. What a load of bullshit. How is it my responsibility? How is it your responsibility to stop all this plastic by how you dispose of the plastic? It's obvious, isn't it, that the problem is it shouldn't be made in the first place. How can it not be made in the first place for all of us in Britain? We shouldn't have it on our shelves. It shouldn't be our choice. It shouldn't be how we dispose of something that's already been made. It should already been done at the government level, representing us, where they just ban it in this country, and then it's supply and demand, isn't it? If you ban it, then it won't be made. It won't be made. If there's nobody at the end at that line to pay for it, then it won't get made. But why do we have a government? We have a government to represent us, and so they should be doing that, not hoodwinking us, not lying to us by saying it's your responsibility to fix this, because that's bullshit. It's bullshit because it won't fix it. It won't fix it. It's got to not be made in the first place. Well, that would be a big rant, wouldn't it?
So this is my last full day in the EU. I'm in a right grump today. I don't know why. I'm just a right miserable. Everything bugs me. Everything's bugging me. That rattle's bugging me. Them ducks are bugging me. Just recharging my happy batteries. Can't be happy all the time, can we? I'm still happy, just grumpy. Actually, I think I know why I'm grumpy. Last night I had a couple of beers. Does anyone else find that the day after a couple of beers, I don't mean I had like a skinful, but does anyone else find the day after, or even for a couple of days after, they're just grumpy, impatient? Let me know in the comments that it's not just me, please. So I'm at the end of this particular journey, my first trip into Europe, and I'm analysing my feelings basically about it all. And one of the things, because we're limited to 90 days now in Europe, the EU, since we left Brexit, it means you're always conscious of a time scale. So you're not 100% relaxed with what you're doing. So I mean, this has been quite a lot of driving this trip. That I've covered some miles because I wanted to go and see specific places, people that I've not seen for a long time, which was quite important to me. But I don't think that that's the kind of travelling that I really want to be doing. I think really I want to spend more time getting to know an area. I mean, Teruel in Spain, I wasn't actually going to go there. It was just as I came off the ferry, I thought, oh, it's only an hour away from Valencia. So I just drove there that evening and I ended up staying there. I think I was there a week. I could have easily stayed longer. It was, yeah, I really loved it there, but the clock's ticking all the time. So most places that I went to, I'd never really got a chance to get to know those places, to get a proper feel for them, because the clock were always ticking. It were always right. I've only got so much time left. If I spend another day here, it's taking a day away from what I might want when I'm there. So that is a big thing for being in the EU. I'm kind of looking forward to not having that time frame when I get back to the UK. Maybe once I'm back in the UK, I might realise, well, it's not really been a problem. I don't know. Like I say, I'm still analysing all this and trying to work out what I feel about certain things. In terms of the countries I've been to, well, I've just left Belgium. I've only spent a night there, really. But one of the things I did notice is it's very different to France, even though I were only like just put my toe over the border almost. But it's very beautiful, it's Belgium, the little bit that I saw. I would like to spend more time, come back, explore the place. I did like what I saw a lot. Felt very much the same as Holland. And is it still called Holland? I don't know. Netherlands. France, there's lots of France, swathes of France, and I did experience that in Spain a bit as well, where the driving is just boring. Years ago I drove Route 66. It was a fantastic adventure, a great road trip, but a lot of it is just same, and I didn't expect that in France so much as there was. Yeah, a lot of same. Portugal, very different wherever you go. Tailgaters, northern France, big on tailgaters. Pretty much all of Spain. Can't really remember Portugal being an issue. Tailgaters, if you're watching this, if you're closer to the vehicle in front, you're not going any faster than if you're 3 car lengths away from the vehicle in front. You're still going at the same speed. The only difference is if you're further away, you can see the view a little bit. You can see if there's space to overtake the vehicle in front, and it's a million times safer. Usually as well, people are like me. The closer people get up your ass, the slower you go. So when you get up someone's ass, you're making them slow down, which in return makes you slow down. But, you know, I'm sure you know this. I don't get it. Why would you want to be so close to a vehicle in front that all you can see is that vehicle in front? Is it a thrill of something, or the risk? I don't know. Do you feel like you're going faster? Do you actually think that you're going faster because you're closer? Oh yeah, so while I'm on about different drivers in different countries. I noticed as well in Spain, on roundabouts, regardless of whether you're coming off on the first, second or third exit, the Spanish always go in the outside lane. So if you do it correctly and go on the inside lane because you're taking the third exit, it's quite possible if there's a fourth exit that you won't be able to come off on the third exit because there's somebody on the inside lane always going all the way around the roundabout. I did ask a Spanish driving instructor years ago and he said no, it's the same as everywhere else. He couldn't understand why everybody did it that way because they certainly weren't taught that to pass their Spanish driving test. I guess once you've been caught out a time or two by doing it correctly and you can't exit because of all the people not doing it correctly, it's a case of if you can't beat them, join them. So far so good. Morning. Messy. Is it straight ahead, yeah?
Straight ahead, yes.
I think this is where we get the rubber glove treatment. Keep left. Right, I've just pulled over just outside of Dover and I've taken this opportunity to have a look and see what I've done since I set off from the UK. First ride in Northern Ireland. Just beautiful. Northern Ireland, you beauty.